You're putting all the pressure on the guys following you. 2 to go through the first heat of the men's quarter-final, 500-meter sprint. And away they go. And it's Mareschi, the Italian, that's looking to try and attack and get through. They've left Nalda well behind. Cow has slipped into second place. So the Kiwi already struggling and really starting to feel the pressure here. So Mareschi and Cow just have to keep an eye on the man in third place here. Again, the time completely irrelevant. There's no advantage for putting in a fast time as Nalda continues to just try and close that gap. But Cow has got the luxury of being able to glance behind him just to take a look. Now, Nalda has closed it up a little bit. Can he attack? Can he close the gap down this back straight? Can he get anything going off this last bend? It doesn't look like it unless he's got a real sprint finish here, and he hasn't. So Mareschi and Cow comfortably through. And Nalda, even with that inside draw, was left pretty much over the first 20 or 30 metres. And you always knew it was going to be tough for him once he lost that inside berth. Mareschi certainly wasn't hanging around, and Cow realised that he needed to attack early. And really, this heat was done and dusted from that first bell. Nalda fought hard, but Mareschi and Cow were always comfortable. And then it was just a case of coming out of that final bend and making sure that they closed the door on the New Zealander, which is exactly what happened. No way back for Nalda. Mareschi and Cow comfortably through to the semi-final, where the competition will, of course, get a lot stiffer. Confirmation then of the times. Mareschi comfortably ahead of Cow, and Nalda a distant likely to be amongst them. The battle for second will be between the Chilean and the man from Chinese Taipei, Huang Yulin, and Lucas Silva Santibáñez. And Swiatek has taken an early jump, the rueful smile. Oh, a yellow card for Swiatek. A lot of Polish skaters here getting terrific support, but operating at the very highest level, the Poles, against really good quality opponents. And as expected, De Souza has jumped out early, and he's got the Chilean in second place, but Huang is tucked in third. So Swiatek has been dropped already, so De Souza looking comfortable and relaxed. But that battle for second is going to be fascinating as we hit the bell. Now, what kind of move can Huang make here on the Chilean? Still De Souza looking comfortable, glancing around his shoulder there. Silva Santibáñez. Santibáñez attacking on the inside and comfortably through as well. Huang could never make it up. It's a good strong finish there from Lucas Silva Santibáñez, but De Souza led from the front. Now whether Santibáñez managed to overhaul him right on the line will be determined by the photograph, and try as he might, Huang Yulin just could not get through. Both men really stretching for it. We have to officially wait for the photo. De Souza maybe by a couple of millimetres, but it will be very, very close, and academic anyway, as both of them are safely through. And once again, it's the same old story. Where are you coming out of that first bend? Well, there's the 1, 2, 3. And third was always in touch, but could never close the gap. Was always chasing, always fighting. De Souza was always comfortable in front, and Silva Santibáñez, the Chilean, never looked likely to relinquish second spot, and may even have done enough to pinch first place on the line. Both of them at full stretch. So they're safely through, and indeed it was De Souza by a couple of millimetres that just held off Santibáñez. They safely through to the semi-final, along with our qualifiers from the first heat. Mareshi and Cao Mercier. So here we are with a very tasty looking quarter-final. And if Gwendal Lepiver and Andres Jimenez are not 1 and 2 here, that will be a major shock. Martin Dias of Portugal and Gabriel Oficialski rounding out this quartet. Lepiver and Jimenez looking to jump early here, but the reigning world champion is inside of him, the Frenchman. They are the class of this field, and it looks a gulf in class as well. 1 and 2 we expect to be in berths 1 and 2. That's exactly how it's panned out already. They've left the other two completely standing. So whilst Oficialski at the back there is getting all that support from this Polish crowd, there is really nothing he, or indeed anybody, can do about the 1-2 here. Lepiver and Jimenez are both serious medal contenders, so for them to both be in the same draw was pretty tough on the other guys. Dias a long way back, and Oficialski just hoping to try and overtake him, but these two just cruising through here. Just a training exercise, work on their sprint finishes, which Jimenez doesn't even bother with. Lepiver takes it, Jimenez happy in second, didn't push himself, and then a long way back, as expected, Martin Dias and Gabriel Oficialski, the Pole. A gutsy fourth, but that one panned out pretty much as we expected it to. So there we go. Again, it's all about that first bend. And that was plain sailing for both of them. The gap just got bigger and bigger. These things don't always go according to the form book. Sometimes there's collisions, sometimes skates get tangled up. But on this occasion, two men who will be expected to be in the final, who may well be on the podium, fully justified their standing. So Lepiver and Jimenez comfortably through. Dias and Oficialski probably cursing their luck that they were drawn in such a hot heat. Speaking of hot heats, Simon Albrecht, the German, the 500-meter world record holder. He's in action in this one, alongside Ezequiel Capellano, Diogo Moreiros of Portugal, and Juan Guzman, the Venezuelan, who might be a dark horse from the outside lane. Yeah, Guzman impressed in the 300-meter time trial. A very different discipline, of course. And if he can carry that good form over into the 500-meter sprint, he might be an outside prospect from the outside lane. But Albrecht on the inside there, you would think, is the man to beat. And Guzman immediately just pushes his way through into second spot. Now that was really good stuff from the outside there from the Venezuelan. And he's looking around with already Capellano and Moreiros trailing, and trailing badly. Simon Albrecht is comfortable. Guzman has just made sure of qualification. And the other two playing catch up, and they don't have long to go. 300 meters as they hit the bell. And still Albrecht and Guzman comfortable. Capellano just not being able to close this gap at all as they come off this last bend. Moreiros pushing and seeing if he can get anywhere, but it was all done again off that first bend. Albrecht got to that bend quickly, and a really aggressive start, as it had to be, from Juan Guzman from that outside berth, made absolutely sure of second place, and that's where he did it really. The first 20 or 30 meters, Guzman on the outside, had a lot of traffic to get through. He wasn't hanging around. He took off, took second place, tucked into Albrecht's slipstream, and that was that. Well, the only real question there was whether Guzman could get himself into second spot from that outside berth. He did just that. He had the time and the leisure to be able to look behind him as they came off that last bend, just to see where Morais-Roche and Capellano were. And where they were was a long way back. So Albrecht comfortably going through. Guzman joining in. Morais-Roche overhauled Capellano off that last bend, but never looked like challenging.